Midnight in Johannesburg, South Africa. It is 10 p.m. in Accra. My name is Bright Nanafu. Thanks so much for staying. Let's check what we have for you. Coming up tonight, there's confusion among musician societies. They are accusing Ghana Music Rights Organization, GAMRO, of mismanagement of royalties due them. The president of Musica, Bice Osekufor, is better known as Obo, will join us in the studio to take a look at exactly what is happening to the front of musicians in Ghana. Some of them are angry. What is really causing the confusion there? We'll take a deeper look at that issue right here. Welcome back to News at 10. Time now to talk about the music industry. Now, management of the Ghana Music Rights Organization, GAMRO, that is in charge of collecting distribution of royalties, have been accused of mismanagement by some stakeholders and musician unions. Now, some old and current generations of artists that met to dialogue on the issue could not reach a consensus. Listo Wolakwe has this story.
I felt that what was going on was not right, it was illegal, so I resigned as a interim board member. The very constitution that GAMRO's own constitution says the interim board shouldn't stay more than 2 years. They've stayed over 2 years. And now if you heard Okukumanto, they are now organizing election. So based on what legality are you organizing election? Your mandate has expired. So all the people who are calling themselves GAMRO interim board members, they are all illegal. They are perpetuating illegality.
No, this whole thing is going on because Kojantri is looking for a position as the next chairman. And so they're using the music machinery to buttress Kojantri's agenda, period.
And so if somebody wants to contest for election, and so what? If Kojantri wants to contest for election, and so what? Is he not a right owner?
Why? I'm not interested in becoming the chairman of GAMRO. Okay. I just want to see the right thing to be done.
You have been a leader. Nothing more can you are getting confusion. What is it? You come to a meeting, organize meeting like this, and you leave us alone.
Well, that is how serious the disagreement is. But the executives of the interim copyright management team, ICMT, has generally been accused of defying the constitution of the Ghana Musicians' Rights Organization, GAMRO. At a stakeholders meeting in Accra, the musician unions and stakeholders questioned the legitimacy of GAMRO's executive board. GAMRO executive member Mark Okrekumanti alleged the event is a plot to get ace musician Kwejo entry into the chairmanship seat of GAMRO. Listo will again follow this particular story. The Interim Copyright Management Team, ICMT, was established under Section 2 of Copyright Amendment Act 2009, Act 788, and came into operations in April 2010. The objective of the ICMT was to restructure the copyright sector, collecting and distributing royalties, liquidate the Copyright Society of Ghana, COSGA, and usher in new collecting societies. On December 23, 2011, the Ghana Music Rights Organization, GAMRO, formed to manage the rights of music owners, took over from the Copyright Society of Ghana, COSGA. But 3 years after the inception of GAMRO, stakeholders in the music industry still complain of not receiving the right amount of royalties due them. Against this backdrop, Musica, in collaboration with other musician unions, have met in Accra to dialogue on the way forward.
This is not about any personality. This is about the very first time we need to do the right thing once and for all for Mother Ghana. We are not supposed to reinvent the wheels. People are all over waiting to help us. But as I keep saying, our own people who came within us, have decided not to allow for the right thing to be done.
Once the same body, that is the board, is the same as the executive, it means there's no separation of powers. It means there's the absence of checks and balances, and that's the recipe for disaster. And so once these mechanisms are not in place, they can't even ask that they should pay per play for starters, so the house must be reformed and checked.
Ghamro was generally blamed for not delivering on its mandate. The situation did not excite ICMT executive in charge of musical rights, Mark Okrekumante.
The chairman had some rapport with Obo. They traveled together and all. Has Obo ever tried to even talk to the chairman tete-a-tete as to some of the things that we need to do? No. This whole thing is going on because Kojantri is looking for a position as the next chairman. And so they're using the musical machinery to buttress Kojantri's agenda, period. How come no other board member was invited on the table? I was not invited. I came on my own. I told you that I came because I chanced the information somewhere.
Right, so I thought their duty is to give us music that will keep our souls at peace. Now they're fighting. Baiso Sekufo, he's better known as a voice in the studio, and your husband is the general secretary of the Ghana Association of Phonographic Industry. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're not fighting.
No,
Kojantri has been accused that because he wants a particular position, he's a result of all this confusion.
I think strongly that it's a diversional tactics being employed by a certain group within Ghamro just to drive attention from the issues. I mean, the issues at stake are very, very simple. This is musicians' royalties, musicians' pensions,
right,
musicians' livelihoods, and so it's a very, very key issue.
It is not about Kojantri at all.
No, so anybody
has every right to become a leader of
anybody who tries to point eyes there is trying to move every attention from the issues. The issue is Ghamro is supposed to collect royalties on behalf of all right owners. Now, when they collect these royalties, they are supposed to distribute it to right owners. Now, there are numerous musicians today who are members of Musica who are not receiving royalties. Sarkodie has never received royalty. Edem has never received royalty. Reggie Rackstone had never received, and the list goes on and on. So people are wondering, who is Ghamro distributing royalties to? Again, I serve on the Ghamro board. And on the board of Ghamro, I have written over 3 different letters asking my board that I serve on, the chairman of the board, that make accounts available so that at least when people come to us asking that, Ghamro, we are not seeing what work you are doing, where are who have you been paying money to, we can show it that, hey, this is work in progress, we've paid money to ABC artists, and for 3 consistent years, this account has never been provided. And so, when anybody tries to move from the issues and say that it's because of someone's, so what are we doing? So the 3 years, because of someone's agenda, that's why the accounts have not come? Is it because of someone's agenda that for 3 years, a single AGM, because Ghamro, unlike any association, it's a company limited by guarantee and operates with the company's code. Every year it is mandated by law, which is the Copyright Act and the LI 1962, to have an AGM every blessed year. For 3 years, that has not happened. And so we have lost hope. I'm on the board. Why would I come out of a board that I serve on
to speak issues that you could have addressed
it's because I have addressed at board meetings consistently
and nothing is happening
for over 14 consecutive meetings, and it falls on deaf ears.
Yeah.
And so it's just...
but let me speak to you. So they stay in office for 2 years without an election. How did it happen? Why is it happening?
It's simple. It's because we're having a leader who is not ready, who is not
you have a constitution.
Yes.
So why breach the constitution?
The constitution itself was drawn up by that very leader. And so he should understand better what the constitution says, better than even me. You understand where I'm coming from?
He can't be removed from office?
That is why
if he breaches the constitution?
That's what it seems, because he's untouchable. He wouldn't respond to your calls. He wouldn't respond to letters. Nothing. And this is what I'm saying. So we should just hit the nail by the head. Carlos Sachi is adamant. He's not ready to listen to anybody. The media, he's not ready to talk to the media. Let me challenge you to pull him here tomorrow to camp. Whether you get Carlos Sachi.
Well, I'll determine this, you did that. But does it suggest that the front of musicians is in a total confusion? There's turmoil. We can't control it.
Not at all. Not at all. This group of gentlemen, fewer few of them who are causing all these problems. The issues are simple but complicated. Obo have mentioned all of them. Accountability, AGM meetings, so forth and so on. But to us, as businessmen or as GAPI, the investors in the music industry, there is no total non-performances. They are not performing. Ask me the duties of Ghamro, why Ghamro was formed. To be able to collect
Ghamro took over from COSGA.
COSGA.
The idea was to make sure you get your royalty, musicians get their royalties.
Because it had taken us more than 10 years, and Carlos Sachi was at the front of the battle, advocating everywhere. And the theories that he propounded, the ideas that he fought for, this very day he has defied all of them. He's putting all of them in the background. They no more are not important.
I'll come back to you. Ghamro has not achieved anything at all. Is that how you describe it?
No, for me as a musician, of course, Ghamro as a body does distribute some form of royalties. The challenge is it has not been effective. That's
compared to COSGA?
Not necessarily COSGA. I mean, COSGA was headed by government, and so government appointed, so they were not musicians, so you could pardon them when they had
make
flaws.
mistakes.
But for Ghamro, the full 14-member board is a board made up of musicians, and then we are operating a management board where 4 of the members on the board have been selected to manage the company. So Carlos Sachi is the CEO. Amazban Adrio is deputy CEO. Kiki Kabobu deputy CEO. And Marco Krekumante is part of this management team, this 4-member management team. And for the past 2.5 years, they have been managing the day-to-day affairs of Ghamro. And so for musicians who were receiving royalties during COSGA days, not to receive royalties now, that is a non-performance. For revenue that you must collect, there are numerous avenues to collect money. Everywhere that music is played publicly, Ghamro must collect money from. So from the TV stations, radio stations, hotels, bars, restaurants, and all spinners, every event, all these are sources where the law mandates to collect money from.
But quickly, let me speak to Mark Okrekumante. You said he is a member of, on the board of Ghamro.
And then a member of the management team.
A member of the management team. Mark Okrekumante has joined this discussion. Mark, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's actually Morgan.
Right. So you think that what is happening is only witch hunting, Mr. Kojuentri, because he wants to chair the organization you were talking about?
No, I went there as a media person and not even as a board member. I was somebody got me implicated, I think it was the deputy chairman, got me implicated in a statement or a submission. And so I had to reply. And so I was just replying, but he said that.
Are you saying?
That was my reply.
Mark, are you saying you did not mean what you were telling the public, that the whole thing is about witch hunting, Mr. Kojuentri?
But at the end of the whole thing, yes, listening to all they said, I realized that it was a campaign. I mean, for Kojuentri. I don't have a problem with that because I'm not running for any position. They all know, all of them know that I'm not going for any position. But for me, I would expect that you call a spade a spade. I mean, people go for board meetings and go and exhibit ego instead of doing things that will move the association or society forward. And then they come back and make it look like they are all goody disciples of Jesus Christ, presenting some different issues to the public. When the mistakes were going on, were they not on the board? How come they could not correct it until now?
You're talking directly to Obo in the studio.
Oh, Obo knows my stand when it comes to these things.
I mean, you're saying that some people are on the board and yet won't address issues when they go to meetings.
If I should repeat what I said over there, I said that if you put together the best team, if you put together the worst players of the world, but if they play like a team, you will definitely get the result. The team or the board that worked over the past 2 years, there was a board that exhibited egocentrism instead of a team. Everybody goes there to show what he's got, stardom and personality, class, and all that. And that is where we find ourselves now because of how we went through our things.
Mark, stay on the line for me for just 30 seconds. I want to react to some of the issues we're raising. You want to react to what he said?
Very, very simple. I mean, Mark knows everything that I am asking, everything that I'm saying. These are things that I've written to them on the board, where I copied him, AmigocGH. He's seen me at board meetings. I'm sure why he's saying egos is sometimes I get very, very worried because all my members who are members of Musica are demanding for accounts. I mean, whilst Mark is on the line, I'll be happy since he's part of the management. Why for 3 years there's not been any form?
Let me put that question to you. Yes, Mark, what is the problem? 3 years, you have not rendered any account. What is the problem?
I think that, like I told you, that right from the very first month of this board, people like Obo and his contemporaries never gave Carlos Techi the peace of mind.
Is that why you have not rendered the account in 3 years?
The man is scared that anything he puts out will be misinterpreted. Interpretation for the thing could be something else, and so he's scared to make any move. Sometimes you say, "Why don't you do this?" Because I am not a third person. When they voted Carlos as a third person, I was not there.
Mark, that breaches the constitution of the organization. He needs to render an account.
Obo is not in the position of behaving as if he's in good standing to fight this cause, because even the money that he's supposed to give to Ghamro, as part of the money government gave to him, till date, Ghamro has not received.
That's an allegation Obo react to. You go ahead. You react to that.
These things from other people and not Obo.
Let me quickly ask you to react. I'm getting ready to wrap up with.
Yeah,
he said you have received money from government. You're not giving to Ghamro.
It's pretty very, very simple. Of course, Musica received money from government, which we had discussions with Ghamro, asked Ghamro to bring a proposal which they didn't submit. And again, for an organization that has not rendered any form of account, we account to every bit of money we take from government to government. So how do you go giving money to an organization who even the monies that they take on your behalf, which is your money, they are not accounting to you? How much more go give them money where you have to go and account to somebody? So until Ghamro presents account,
you can't give the money to them. Right, Mark, let me wrap up with you. I'll come back to do that same in the studio. But the kind of turmoil you find yourselves in, how do we resolve it?
I do not find myself in any turmoil.
Oh no, but Mark, you just told me that Obo has refused to give money that government has given to Ghamro. Ghamro says, I won't render account because I don't trust the people. Definitely, this is a confusion.
The Ghamro has not said he's not going to render account.
3 years passed, the account has not been rendered.
Please inform Obo that Ghamro is not 3 years.
He's hearing you.
He should not mislead people because of his personal ambitions.
How do you resolve it? Let's wrap up in 30 seconds. Tell me, how do you resolve
it? I think that the chairman and the team, we are taking our decisions. We're having a meeting very soon. We'll let the press know.
Thank you, AmigocGH, for let's wrap up. How do we resolve this? 30 seconds. Tell me.
It is simple. This board ought to go away, leave the scene, for a committee, a 3-member committee or so, to be put to run the system and to take us through election.
That will resolve the problem.
That is the only.
Boys, is that what you think too?
I think strongly that the board must do the right thing. This board definitely has elapsed its term, so of course we are more or less. I feel shy to call myself an interim board member because I know we are perpetuating illegality. Our term expired in 11th of May 2013.
And we are still in office.
Yes, and we are totally gone. And so yes, I think the board should leave office and allow an independent election committee to come in place so that a new board could be elected. But before that, we must account. We must account for 3 years.
Thanks so much. Your husband is the General Secretary of the Ghana Association of Phonographic Industry. Baiso Sekufo, better known as Obo, is the president of the Musicians Union of Ghana. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure this issue will continue to deliberate on. We're taking a short break. When we come back, Bukom Bank, White Power, who wins that fight? I'm getting ready for the stadium tomorrow. Stay there. We're coming back in a moment.